So the court documents in the lawsuit against NeNe Leakes from her boyfriend's wife have been revealed, and our friends over at the Bravo docket are breaking down what exactly is an alienation of affection. And apparently, Greg Leakes' daughter is revealing this is not the first time NeNe has stole someone's husband. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. As you can already tell, I am a little bit under the weather, but I've been reading and watching and trying to get fully versed on this NeNe Leakes lawsuit that she's being sued by her boyfriend's wife. And I always associated that this wife has been estranged. But according to her lawsuit, and shout out to our friends over at Chronicle Speaks, and she did the Googling and schmoogling. No, she literally went to the courthouse and got these documents, y'all. And she breaks it down. I'm not going to break down all the court documents. I'll send you over to her page. I'll link that in the description of this video so you can see all of what's being said. But what's being said in this court case is basically saying that they have not been estranged, that NeNe flaunting this man on her social media has ruined her marriage, that financially she's been affected by them flaunting of this relationship and her alienating her husband away from her. So I know a lot of people were saying, oh, she's at a cap of $100,000. That's why she's suing for that. I'm hearing mixed things about that. According to our friends over the Bravo docket, there was a recent lawsuit in North Carolina for millions of dollars. And I'm hearing a lot of people have been sued in North Carolina for something very similar and have won. But we'll get into that in just a second. Before we get into what the Bravo docket is saying, NeNe Leakes' stepdaughter, Greg Leakes, the late Greg Leakes' daughter, who we've seen on the Real Housewives of Atlanta before, or on the spinoff, I can't remember which one. Either way, we know of Greg Leakes' other kids that aren't with NeNe. Well, apparently she responded, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly. She responded in the Peach Report's report of this story. The Peach Report just says, looks like NeNe Leakes is being sued by her boyfriend's wife for allegedly ruining their marriage. So Katrina Leakes simply responds to this and says, so was my dad Greg when she met him, but I digress. Damn. But we also know, if you've seen the relationship between NeNe and Greg's kids, you know, her stepkids, it's never really been peachy keen. It's never really been the greatest of relationships. But here we are. Now, let's get over to this whole alienation of affection law that is vibrant in 7 states, but definitely vibrant in North Carolina. So if you've been under a rock, NeNe Leakes is being sued by her boyfriend's wife. Okay. And according to the streets, apparently this has been looming for months. Ever since they went public with the relationship, we hear that they've been working on this for months. And some of you speculate that Naomi, NeNe's boyfriend's in on it. You also know that NeNe took to her social media on her IG Live and says that she's not stealing anybody's husband. I hope she has a good lawyer, because as I said to you before, it seems as if people that have filed for this in the past have won. I also remind you, when we first reported on this story about people like Fantasia, that was probably like the first time that we knew of someone famous getting involved in something very similar. That's a whole other long story, but Fantasia didn't have to pay this woman anything, even though she did want to settle it at one point. Let's focus on NeNe, though, because NeNe's literally in the middle of this. So our friends over at the Bravo docket break this down. I love them. If you're not following them, if you're not subscribed to their podcast, I'll post all of the links in the description. This is why I wanted to report on this aspect of it. So they write this in a really great slide that they have. They said, have you seen this headline? TMZ, NeNe Leakes sued for stealing woman's husband. Are, quote, spousal stealing lawsuits even a thing? In some states, yes, but they are rare, unusual, and hard to prove. The legal term is alienation of affection. So that's an actual legal term. So let's move on to where this is located. So Hawaii, Illinois, Mississippi, New Mexico, North Carolina, South Dakota, and Utah are the only states that still permit alienation of affection lawsuits. All right, so if you're wondering where this was, just in case you other women are watching, or other men, how you doing? Anyways, so what is alienation of affection? So the Bravo docket breaks it down and says, in North Carolina, where the lawsuit reportedly was filed, alienation of affection allows a spouse to sue a third party for wrongful acts that deprive them of the love and affection of their spouse. Alienation of affection lawsuits are most often against adulterous spouse's lover, but meddling in-laws, therapists, and members of religious organizations who encourage the spouse to get a divorce have also been sued. Guys, I'm so excited about our new Pride merch. So many of you have been asking us to put out merch, and I said right now is a perfect time to put out merch because we have Prideified, rainbowfied our logo, and we've come up with so many really great options for kids, for mugs, stickers, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all kinds of things. Be sure to check out everything at teamkempire.com/shop. I'll post links in the description. Thank you in advance for supporting us, and happy Pride. So what does the spouse alleging alienation of affection have to prove? So states differ according to Bravo docket, and they said, but here are the basic elements. There was a valid marriage existing, love and affection. The love and affection was destroyed by the wrongful and intentional acts of a third party. The wrongful and malicious behavior occurred prior to the separation of you and your spouse. The alienation damaged the suing spouse in legal terms. Damage means led to the dissolution of your marriage, separation, depression, economic loss, etc. So this is why it's important for you guys to take a look at Chronicle Speaks' overview of the case, because we always refer to Naomi's wife as the estranged wife, that they were separated, whatever it may be. And apparently they were separated according to the legal docs since December of 2021. But there have been rumors that this relationship between Naomi and Nene has been going on for a long time, even before Greg Leakes passed away, allegedly. So where did the law come from? According to Bravo docket, they say the law originated from Anglo-Saxon property law, holding that a man's wife and her affection are chattel, property that could be stolen by another man. Almost every state in the United States had a similar law, and of course, only men could sue. Around the early 1900s, most jurisdictions began allowing women to file lawsuits for alienation of affection. Not sure this helped, because how could women pay for a lawyer when we were not even legally entitled to a bank account until 1960? Side note, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg argued her first case in front of the U.S. Supreme Court in 1971, many banks still would not issue women credit cards or allow them to open checking accounts without their husband's permission. I love the sidebar. Y'all know we love a good sidebar. That was a really good one. So do people actually win in these cases? So according to the Bravo docket, they say we haven't seen the pleadings, so we can't comment on the specifics of the case against Nene. But yes, people do win them in North Carolina. In 2019, a Superior Court judge ruled that a man had to pay Robert Kevin Howard $750,000 for sleeping with his wife, according to court records and the Washington Post. They said Howard sued for alienation of affection and criminal conversation. Criminal conversation is having sex with someone's spouse, and yes, that's a cause of action in North Carolina too. The Washington Post also reported a North Carolina judge ordered a man to pay Keith King $8.8 million for wrecking King's marriage in 2018. So the other day I reported to you about a case from 2010, and some people said, well, since that case, North Carolina put a cap on it. Apparently not, because in 2018, $8.8 million was awarded to Keith King. This is why I got to do my due diligence. So Nene, I don't know if Naomi's wife knows that she probably could sue for more, especially with someone like Nene who has more. Not that I'm encouraging that, but what I'm saying is that she could go for more. In the court documents, as I said to you before, that Chronicle Speaks goes through, you see the different stipulations, $25,000 for this, $25,000 for that, in regards to the things that she's accusing NeNe of doing. So based on what she's saying in these court documents, Naomi's wife, she's saying that NeNe's behavior on social media, them flying around the world when she literally was still having an intimate relationship with this man. And she has a child, 11-year-old son with this man. This is going to be interesting. NeNe is playing as if she's not bothered by this, even if what the wife is accusing her of isn't necessarily true. She just has to prove it in court. If she proves it in court, NeNe could be paying this woman $100,000, if not more. If not more. Guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts. We will link all of everything in the description of this video. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already and support those platforms. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload.